Reports are running out of tests in parts of Florida as well. It's getting worse. The president is saying it's fixed. It's getting worse by the day.
What a difference 4 months have not made. There are still some difficulties getting tested. Frontline workers are still struggling to get proper PPE, and President Trump is still waiting for a miracle. Welcome back to Morning Joe. It is Friday, July 3rd. Susan Del Percio, Donnie Deutsch still with us, and joining us we have MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle, politics editor for the Daily Beast Sam Stein, and former House Oversight Committee spokesperson, now a Morning Joe contributor, Kurt Bardella, who is announcing this morning that he will be joining the Lincoln Project as a senior advisor, working with its communications and rapid response team. Good to have you all on board. The U.S. recorded its highest number of new cases in a single day for the third day in a row yesterday, more than 56,000 cases. According to NBC News data, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina all broke their state's individual records for the most new cases in a single day. Texas, California, and Alabama all recorded their second highest number of new cases. Florida has now passed the 10,000 mark. As the Washington Post notes, it's the 25th consecutive day that Florida has set a record high in its 7-day rolling average. As Texas scrambles to get its coronavirus surge under control, Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order requiring people to wear face coverings in public. The move marks a major reversal for Abbott, who in April blocked local officials from penalizing people who don't wear masks.
Good move.
The order, which takes effect today at noon, requires anyone over the age of 10 to wear face coverings inside businesses and other buildings or spaces open to the public. It also requires masks outside in public spaces where it's not feasible to stay 6 feet apart.
It's good news that he's actually moved in the right direction, Mika.
Yeah.
I hope others will follow that example,
and
learning from his mistakes.
And then there's this. Nearly 2 weeks after attending President Trump's campaign rally in Tulsa, Herman Cain has been hospitalized with coronavirus. The 74-year-old former pizza chain executive who ran in the Republican presidential primary in 2012 was hospitalized Wednesday after testing positive on Monday. According to a statement, Cain's treatment does not require a ventilator at this time. While it is unclear how he contracted the deadly virus, Cain was seen maskless and not socially distancing at Trump's June 20th rally in Tulsa, which drew less than expected crowds, but crushed 6,000 people together. At the lower level, the campaign wanted everyone close together so the crowd would look big, and those people were all exposed, just like Herman Cain, who tweeted this picture himself. On the same day he was hospitalized, Cain took to Twitter to shame mask wearers, the mask requirements, and praised Trump's lack of one at tomorrow's 4th of July event.
All right. It's
terrible. We hope he's okay.
Well, yeah. We'll be thinking about him and hope that he'll be okay, and hope that when he recovers, he'll wear a mask and tell everybody else to wear a mask. So, Mike, if you look at the top states that are being impacted right now by the coronavirus, it's all across the Sun Belt, from California to Florida. But you look at these states, most of them are very competitive states in the upcoming election. Florida, Texas, not California, but Georgia, Arizona, not South Carolina. But there is an interesting race for senator in South Carolina between Jamie Harrison and Lindsey Graham. But every day that we have record infections in these states, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Arizona, these competitive states, is a day that Donald Trump moves further away from re-election, because this is a guy that told them it was one person coming in from China and it was going to go away. He told them that in January. In February, he said this is 15 people. Soon it's going to be going away. In March, he said that told Republican senators to relax. Everything was going to be okay. It was going to go away. He continues to tell us, even this week, telling us it's going to disappear. But this magical thinking is not working. And while people in Florida, Texas, Georgia, Arizona, California could look at this as a New York problem in the past, as these infections explode and as businesses have to shut down again in these states, it's going to have a negative impact on Donald Trump's political prospects, because he's the one who guaranteed them and has guaranteed them for most of the year that there was nothing to see here. At first saying it was a media hoax, and now saying it's going to magically disappear.
Yeah, Joe, you know, infections, as we all know, we can read the reports. Infections are up in a majority of the states in this country. I think it's 40 out of 50 states the infection rate is up. And many of the infection rates in various states, as you just pointed out, those states touch the core of Donald Trump's constituency. And you're right. For months now, this epic incompetence has been led by Donald Trump. That's the only thing he's led. He's provided no guidance. He's provided no leadership. He has said it's going to disappear overnight. Don't worry about it. We've got it under control. There's plenty of tests. If you want a test, you can get a test. Blah, blah, blah. On and on and on and on. People are smart. I mean, I feel terrible for anyone who contracts the virus, but there's another virus that the whole country is dealing with on a daily basis. And it's the virus of Donald Trump's incompetence, his personality, and his lack of character in terms of leading this critical medical emergency that we're still in the middle of.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.